Holyoke, where a Greenfield man accused of hitting and dragging a state trooper with his car during a traffic stop last week also faced a judge. Western Mass News reporter Daniel Santiago joins us live in studio with the new details after the suspect's arraignment today. Daniel?
Chris, 45-year-old Michael Williams Jr. appeared in front of a judge at Holyoke District Court Wednesday morning. This after his arraignment was postponed twice due to his hospitalization.
In court on Wednesday, the Greenfield man accused of fleeing a traffic stop along I-91 in Holyoke last Friday, hitting and dragging a Massachusetts state trooper, and the subject of an hours-long manhunt in the woods nearby. Michael J. Williams Jr. pleading not guilty to a long list of charges. Western Mass News was in the courtroom and has obtained new information about what transpired that day. We've learned the trooper, Theodore Todrin, radioed for help as he was being dragged by the car. He did free himself but did suffer an injury to his right leg and was taken to the hospital for treatment. Highway traffic cameras capturing the scene. We also learned Williams had been on probation for past offenses.
If you are charged with another offense while this matter is still pending, you need to know if we brought back to court without the right to any bail. You understand that, sir?
Williams' arraignment had been postponed twice this week because he was hospitalized at Cooley Dickinson Hospital. Court documents now revealed he swallowed, quote, a bundle of heroin as he was being booked. On Wednesday, Williams, who has a prosthetic right leg, remained sitting during the hearing due to his injuries. The prosecution for the Commonwealth and the public defender discussed bail.
Your Honor, we have an agreement for the court's consideration that the court set cash bail in the amount of $100,000 without prejudice.
I wrote a great argument on that today, but do ask that it be settled on the case.
The judge did set a $100,000 cash bail without prejudice today, and his next court date already set for October 18th. Now, coming up at 6, we'll dig deeper into what court documents say unfolded last Friday. Reporting live in studio, Daniel Santiago, Western Mass News.